y'all, I know this is not my usual setup, but I, as an adult learner, sometimes have to roll with the punches, and that includes letting my toddler sleep so I can make a video. So here we are today in my truck, and we're going to be talking about multicultural counseling and what it means to the profession and how we can better help our clients through the lens of multicultural issues. Cultural humility, cultural awareness, advocacy, and social justice are vital to the counseling profession. First of all, with humility, I like what C.S. Lewis says best. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking of yourself less. So you can have your views and you can keep them close, tight to you, as the videos we had to watch said, but you also put them on the back burner, so to speak, so that you can help your client in the best way possible. If you have any biases or schemas that are in the way, then you cannot give them the full scope of care because you are not opening up the best services and thoughts and actions to them. Secondly, with cultural awareness, you need that to be a licensed professional counselor. Say the client comes in and their family believes that they are demonically possessed because they have anxiety, or say they come in and they think that their son or daughter, whatever, is bringing shame to the family for what lifestyle they're living or what they believe. You will not know where that is coming from unless you understand different cultures and different belief systems. And unless you have some knowledge of that, you cannot give them the best care possible. And that's a continuing theme here. Without cultural knowledge, you can actually do more damage than good. Thirdly, advocacy is so important. I did not know the full scope of advocacy until I started this class and talked to other LPCs. Whether it is on the one-on-one level or the government level, we have to think what beliefs or laws or actions are inhibiting our clients from receiving the best care possible. And it is also finding out, advocacy is finding out ways that you can help break those barriers so that they can receive that care. So say a client comes in and you have to advocate that they need extra time on tests, or say that you are going up to Congress to help advocate for a law. There are so many ways where you can bring growth to the profession. Lastly, social justice is kind of a culmination of all these things, but it stands alone in that it is the view and the action that all men are created equal. You can think of it as that in a constitutional level, or you can think of it from a Christian standpoint where our number one commandment was to love one another, or you can think of it from the ACA where it says that we are to treat everybody equally no matter what race, gender they are. They come in and you give them the best care possible, and that's what social justice advocates for in itself. It is the idea that all people should be treated with the same level of passion, with care, with consciousness that everybody else is. And so with all of these in mind, they kind of form a professional stew that you need to have in order to be a good counselor. When I think about a story in the Bible that resonates with multicultural awareness, I think of the Great Samaritan. And I didn't learn this until a while ago, just how important this story is. It's not a story about two different people that just didn't like each other, kind of like Democrats or Republicans, but they were mortal enemies in the biggest way possible. I really highly suggest doing reading on what that conflict was between the Samaritans and the Jews, but it was as oil and water as you can get. It was full of wars and awful schemas, awful actions that were done against each other. So when the Samaritan comes up to the Jew, that is big enough in itself. And the Jew had already been passed over by two other people of his own kind. But this person, the mortal enemy, came up and showed him compassion. And he did not go through a checklist and say, I'm going to pass because he goes against everything I believe in. He saw him for what he was, a human being who needed care, who was help. And that's what we as counselors need to do. And I think what God wants to instill in all of us, no matter what we think about somebody, no matter what anybody says, against somebody else, it's not our job to decide if they are human enough, if they are worthy enough. God said that we are all worthy, and as counselors, we need to exhibit that as well. How I promise to increase my cultural humility when I become a licensed professional counselor is to constantly be self-reflective and to seek knowledge. First of all, with self-reflection, that means always keeping a checks and balances of what biases or burnouts that I am having in my life that is not letting me give my client the best care possible. And also with knowledge, you never need to stop learning. You don't get this degree and all of a sudden you're done, kind of like the book says. You are always growing, it's always changing, and you can't know of what's growing and changing unless you seek it. How I plan to grow my social justice efforts as a licensed professional counselor will be to keep involved in the ACA locally and nationally, and to also help with research. I know that sounds like advocacy, but I want to make sure that I am standing up for all people, and I do not know what the organization is doing and what research is doing unless I get involved with it. Meaning, as that I cannot stand up for people or make sure that things are ethically going right unless I am involved in them. And I believe that is the best thing that we can do if we are going to help those in our community and around the world. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see your videos as well. I can't wait to see your replies and responses, and I hope you have a great day.